2,000 years after the departure of Jesus the Christ. The prophets are back to teach the real Jews, the 12 tribes of Israel, their true nationality. This is their campaign.
Hey, cause there's a lot of whoredom going on in the city of Yonkers, my brother. Can we not agree? What just recently happened in New York City? They legalized prostitution. In New York, the district attorney of Manhattan said they will no longer file any charges against prostitution. You understand?
It's a really important day.
The movement to decriminalize sex work in New York got a big push Wednesday after Manhattan District Attorney Cy Vance announced that his office will no longer prosecute prostitution and unlicensed massage. DA Vance, appearing in a virtual hearing, moved to dismiss 914 prostitution and unlicensed massage cases, some that date back to the 1970s, as well as 5,080 cases of loitering for the purposes of prostitution, all in line with the office's new policy, which follows New York State's repeal of an anti-loitering law widely known as the Walking While Trans law. In many of these matters, vulnerable people have faced significant collateral consequences and live even now under the threat of being detained based on pending bench warrants, the DA said before a judge Wednesday.
What's going on in the streets of our sisters today? Whoredom. Somebody might say, how do I prostitute myself? How do I don't sell myself for money. But if you dressing like one, aren't you not one? Right. If I dress like a cop, right? There's an emergency. You're gonna run up to me and say, officer, officer. I'm gonna look at you and say, oh, excuse me, just because I'm dressed this way, don't make me a police officer. Read that.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 29.
Go ahead.
Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore.
Don't dress like a whore, the Bible's saying. Don't dress in spandex, pants. These things are prostitution characteristics. Read it again.
Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore.
God said, teach your daughters right. Teach them how to dress like a woman with skirts and dresses, not promiscuous, jumping up and down in the street. You got all these older brothers out here looking at you behind you, bouncing up and down. Come on, read it again. We gotta read God's laws. Go ahead.
Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore.
That's the same spirit Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion got. You know where we learned that thing from? In slavery, when they raped our women.
That's right.
We gotta stop the whoredom out here.
Right.
Because if you with whoredom, that means you accept abortions. If you with whoredom, that means you accept single mother households.
Right.
We gotta teach our women to dress right.
Bring it out.
Give me 1 Peter 2. No, finish that up. Go ahead.
Lest the land fall.
Hold on. God is saying if we allow our women to dress promiscuous, what's the effects? The what?
Lest the land,
the city, the kingdom, go ahead,
fall to whoredom.
fall to whoredom. It's not whoredom out here in these streets. You go to every corner in the black community where you got Planned Parenthood. You got welfare lines. You got WIC lines. Has not our land fall to whoredom? Do we not see of lust. We don't see that thing, brother? Go ahead.
And the land becomes full of wickedness.
And the land becomes a what?
Full of wickedness.
God said when a woman dressed immodest, that's wickedness right there. We can't do that thing. The men of God gotta tell these women, dress proper. There's grown men looking at your behind right now.
Right.
And you think they watching you for education. Nah, they lusting after you. We telling you, cover up, cover up.
Bring it out.
Cover up, because you're setting a bad influence for the younger sisters, for the younger generation. You got Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion out here doing the same thing, and you standing with them. Cardi B came out with a song. Give me that first beat too. Cardi B came out with a song called WAP. W-A-P. Wet ass blank. I'm gonna let y'all fill in the rest.
Problems.
How we feel about that? How we feel? You think that's appropriate for children, little girls, to be listening to Cardi B? That's wrong. If you're 13, 14 years old, you shouldn't have no boyfriend. You shouldn't have no girlfriend.
That's right.
Your parents are supposed to teach you right. Give me that First Peter's. First Timothy's too. You know what I want.
Bring it up.
We're not supposed to be dealing with boyfriend and girlfriends. You're supposed to lay down with one person, God says.
Bring it up.
Go ahead.
It's the book of 1 Timothy.
Go ahead. 2 and 9. Come on.
Chapter 2. 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 9.
Go ahead.
In like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel.
God said to deal in modest apparel. Why does God tell our women to dress with skirts and dresses? Why? Because you're not going to attract the wrong attention.
Right.
You're not going to attract the wrong attention. If you dress modest, a man walking up and down the street is going to say, she's different than a hoe. I can't just make her my girlfriend, my baby mother. I got to make this woman my wife.
Right.
Go ahead.
With shamefacedness and sobriety.
Go ahead.
Not with pointed hair or gold or pearls.
Read it again from the top.
In like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel.
Uh-oh, that means black women, you can't have your behind showing. You can't have your cleavage showing. You can't have your camel toe showing. Why? Because you're attracting the wrong attention. Why is it that crime and rape, why is it that rape is so preeminent in the black community? Is it not linked to how our sisters dress? We have to tell what's right to our women, whether they like it or not. Because God said the word. Read it again.
In like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel.
That means what, young sisters? Cover up your body if you want a husband. Don't let every Tyrone, Ray, well, give me another Laquan, Daquan, sweet talk you. Go ahead.
With shamefacedness and sobriety,
Go ahead.
not with pointed hair or gold or pearls or costly array,
Go ahead.
but which becometh women professing godliness with good works.
God is saying what? Cover up. It shouldn't just be about your outward appearance. You go to Instagram, you go to Facebook, you go to any social media now, what these women primary focus is, they're out of beauty, but they dumb as a bag of rocks.
Right.
Don't know how to cook, clean, or wash anything. Am I right, my brother?
Right. That is so true.
Give me Hebrews 13:4. This is for our young people today. Don't make the same mistakes our parents did, our forefathers did, our foremothers did. Keep yourself for marriage. If you don't want to end up in the public assistance line, the welfare line, the shelter line, the single mother line, what? Deal in marriage.
That's right.
Don't sleep around out here. You want to catch an STD.
Right.
Go ahead.
Hebrews chapter 13, verse 4.
Go ahead.
Marriage is honorable in all.
My brother, you heard that? Brother man, what's your name, my brother? Demetrius, my name is Jose. A pleasure to meet you, my brother. God said marriage is honorable. How honorable is marriage, you may ask? If you marry, it will eliminate abortions.
Right.
Think about it. If we deal, imagine 1/3, just 1/3, 33% of our people dealing with marriage. Divorce is going to go down.
Bring it out.
Brothers not having, sons not having, fathers in the household. It's going to go down.
Right.
That means the crime rate is going to go down. You don't have effeminate and emotional men becoming gangsters. You understand? You got abortion clinics going down. If all that goes down, what else goes down? The criminal justice system that profits off emotional black men that grew up without a father in the household.
Bring it out.
That's how honorable marriage is.
That's right.
How honorable is marriage? You ain't gonna get no STDs. You don't gotta worry about catching AIDS from the woman that you sleep with, which is your wife. You don't gotta worry about that. Read it again.
Marriage is honorable in all.
God said deal with marriage. If you got a boyfriend, you got a girlfriend, you better stop that thing. You're gonna catch STDs.
That's right.
And if your parents is teaching you to have a girlfriend, they failing.
Right.
If your parents is teaching you to have a boyfriend, they failing.
Bring it out.
Read that again.
Marriage is honorable in all.
Marriage is honorable in all. Go ahead.
In the bed undefiled.
And the bed between a husband and wife is undefiled. Read again.
Marriage is honorable in all.
Go ahead.
In the bed undefiled.
Go ahead.
But whoremongers.
But what?
But whoremongers.
Hear that, my brother Demetrius? Whoremongers. Whoremongers today whoremongers is an ancient word for boyfriend, girlfriend, baby daddy, baby mama. Go ahead.
Whoremongers and adulterers, God will judge.
Demetrius, let me ask you a question. How does God judge whoremongers?
Bring it out. Bring it
Give me that, Deuteronomy 28. That's why we was telling our sisters over here that was gyrating their behind, you gotta dress proper.
Right.
What you teaching to the baby girls out here is to dress like that and do the same thing. That's leading them to failure.
Right.
That's leading them to have multiple children by no good niggas. I'm gonna be honest.
Bring it out.
How does God judge a whoremongers and adulterers? Go ahead. Demetrius, listen up.
Also, every sickness.
Zerubbabel.
All right, well, when you come back, you can
Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed.
Can you find the terminology AIDS or STDs, sexually transmitted disease? Can you find that terminology in here? In the Bible, is it literally written sexually transmitted disease? It's not literally written. It talks about it. That's what we're reading right here. A judgment for not keeping the laws of marriage. God said he's going to put diseases that aren't written in this book of life, the Bible. What's literally not written? AIDS, syphilis, gonorrhea. God is saying if you wake up in the morning from a one-night stand and when you pee, your rod is burning, God is saying I did that thing. I signed off on that thing.
Right.
I gave you AIDS. I gave you syphilis. That's what we're reading. Read it again.
Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed.
Until thou be destroyed. You understand, my brother? Are we not being destroyed by sexually transmitted diseases? You know, in Atlanta, it was a survey taking place in Atlanta with black women. Nearly 2 out of 3, nearly 66% of all black women have a type of STD. Literally meaning, if you go to Atlanta and you trying to look for a one-night stand, you playing Russian roulette with your life.
Right.
Went on Facebook bragging about infecting her sexual partners with HIV. She even mentioned these partners on Facebook by name.
And this video really has sent shockwaves throughout the city of Americus in southwest Georgia, and now it's gone viral as well. 11 Alive's Latasha Giffens joins us And there are so many people concerned trying to understand, A, what this is all about, and B, if she is a credible figure throughout all of this.
That's right. This is alarming, not just for her community, but for those around the state, especially when you consider the CDC has Georgia listed in the top 5 for states with the highest number of HIV infections.
I am HIV positive.
In this 1-minute and 20-second video, Brandy Yakima Lassiter of Americus, Georgia, not only states that she has HIV, but she goes on to list the men she believes she infected on purpose.
You HIV positive?
She even includes their wives and girlfriends who now may also be affected. Lassiter goes on bragging about revenge and wanting to watch them suffer.
I always get the last. Now I'm watching our die. I get real nasty and evil.
Right. Give me probably Romans 6:23. Good. Go ahead.
But they don't really have
Go ahead. Romans 6:23. So what's going on, brother? We learning that what? The wages of sin is death.
Bring it out.
We've been sinning for so long, my brother Demetrius. Sin became second nature. But you know when we got off those slave ships, you know what we was doing? Marriage. We were using the Bible as a marriage certificate. You understand? We don't deal with marriage no more. Look at our people now, destroyed. Brothers broke off child support. Sisters can't find a husband or a father for their children. Don't know who the baby daddy is. You look at shows like Jerry Springer or Maury got a show out. Are you not the father, or you are the father?
We just have the apartments and the men shacking up with them, and their name's not even on the lease.
Right. Go ahead.
Romans chapter 6, verse 23. For the wages of sin is death.
The wages of sin is what?
Is death. But the gift of God is eternal life.
So the wages of sin is death, meaning what? If you want to stay in boyfriends and girlfriends, you're going to get death.
Right.
Oh, you still want to mess around with one-night stands? All right, God is saying, I'm going to give you 8. That's what we're reading out here. God is saying, deal with one man, you sisters. To you brothers, deal with one woman. That's what God is saying.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are how men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.